Good afternoon, students. Let's start with ex post facto research. Today's topic is ex post facto research. It is a kind of research in which the researcher predicts the possible causes behind an effect that has already occurred. For example, if a child is delinquent, that is, one who is indulged in criminal activities, then in order to find the basic reason behind this behavior, behind this tendency, delinquency, the researcher would try to find out the various events that might have occurred and many possibilities that could have contributed to the concerned delinquent behavior in a child. The expected possibility may be lack of discipline at school, maybe a lack of discipline at home, or parental behavior, or maybe some other stubborn habits. It is an interesting point to note that researcher predicts a cause on the basis of a controlled effort, since no variation can be done on the effect which has already taken place on the basis of independent variable or the cause. Thus, it is a kind of research which can be defined as an empirically based independent variable because they have already led to effects which can no more be manipulated. The conclusions regarding the relationships between the variables are inferred without intervening or varying the independent or dependent variables. Next is different characteristics are as follows. Based on the concept of ex post facto research, it is also known as causal comparative research. The ex post facto research has certain characteristics which are as follows. The research has a control or a comparison group. First thing is it has a control or comparison group. As the research is done on the basis of the study of the curve which has already led to its effects, it becomes necessary for the researcher to keep a control group which can be used for comparison with the actual experimental group and later on in order to analyze the cause of an already occurred event. The research focuses on the effects. This type of research focuses on the effects. Since the researcher tries to analyze and predict the reason behind the occurrence of some event or some phenomena, their first attempt is to focus on the event or the phenomenon that has already occurred. Only after having a detailed study of the phenomena or the event, the researcher tries to determine the causes behind such an event or phenomena. Number three, researcher tries to analyze the how and what aspects of an event. Since the researcher tries to understand the causal effects behind the phenomena, the researcher basically focuses on how and what reason that has led that phenomenon to occur. What were the actual reason behind this phenomenon occurred? What were the factors responsible for that phenomenon? The researcher tries to analyze the how and what aspects of an event. Since the researcher tries to understand the causal effects behind a phenomena, the research basically focuses on how and what reasons that has led that phenomenon to occur. Explores possible effects and causes. With the help of an ex post facto research, the researcher tries to analyze the cause and effect phenomena of an basically it is about cause and effect phenomena of an event or possible causes that have already occurred to lead to some event. Differentiate between experimental and ex post facto. What is the basic difference? First is in an experimental research, the researcher can directly manipulate the independent. In an experimental research, you can manipulate the variables. Whereas in ex post facto research, the researcher cannot directly manipulate any variable, manipulate the independent, that is the cause, as he or she predicts the cause on the basis of the dependent variable. Period of randomization. Researcher can use the principles of randomization in an experimental research on basis of which they can conclude or infer that other things remaining equal constant control the effect is a result of manipulation of the cause. The researcher cannot use the principles of randomization in an ex post facto research. It is easier to interpret or infer relationships between the independent and dependent variable as they manipulate the independent variable and see its effect on dependent variable. It is difficult to interpret or infer a relationship between the dependent and independent variable as there can be more than one philosophy, possibilities or cause for a particular effect. Not only a single factor is responsible, there can be several possibilities, several factors which are responsible for that thing to happen. Requisites for inferring causal relationships. Associative variation. In order to infer, predict, or conclude that a particular effect Y is a result of cause X, Y is a result of cause X, X is the cause, and Y is the effect. Cause and effect. There should be an association because if something is happened, there should be some possible cause behind something, possible reason, possible factors to impact something. Therefore, the researcher can come to the conclusion after examining the variation in X yields the effect Y. If something is happening, it is because of students are not performing. Maybe it is because of lack of teaching methods. Maybe because of lack of concentration. Maybe because of lack of other factors, environmental factors, health issues. There may be several factors. If a student is not so, if Y is there, then it is maybe possible because of that. Absence of the causes. The researcher should analyze each aspect of the causal relationship with full detail and find out the best possibilities, possible causes, reason or independent variable that has ultimately led to that effect, action or event to occur. For example, the etiology of cancer can be due to several factors. Not only one factor is responsible, it can several factors can be responsible. In the ex post facto research, the researcher finds out the best possible reason that might have led to the occurrence of that disease within the person or the subject. Number one, steps determining the problem. In an ex post facto research, it is necessary for the researcher to focus on the problem that he or she needs to study, which they are going to take up. They not only try to find out a problem, but they also need to determine, analyze, and define the problem which they will be dealing with. Number two is literature review. Before trying to predict the relationship, the researcher needs to study all the related or similar literature and relevant studies, which may help in further analysis, prediction, and conclusion of the causal relationship between the variables under study. Formulation of hypothesis. The third step of the ex post facto research is to propose the possible solutions of the problem or alternatives that might have led to the effect. They need to list out the assumptions which will be on the basis of which hypothesis will be formulated and procedure of the research. Designing the approach. Once the problem has been defined and the hypothesis has been postulated, the researcher needs to select the sample which fits the criteria of the study. They also need to select the scale of the construct instrument for collecting the required information. Once the designings are finalized, the researcher analyzes the relationships between the variables. Validity of the research. Researcher needs to validate the significance of their research. Nothing can be in vain. You need to validate the significance of why you are going to study this, what is the significance, how it will be helpful for the society, how it is going to contribute for the betterment of the society. They need to be cautious regarding the extent to which their findings would be valid and significant and helpful in interpreting the drawing conclusions and inferences from the obtained results. Interpretation of the conclusion. Finally, the researcher needs to analyze, evaluate, and interpret the information collected. On the basis of this step only, the researcher states the best possible alternatives of causes which might have led the effects to occur. Strengths and weaknesses of ex post facto research. Though no research can be perfect in itself, although all have their strengths and weaknesses, but the same is applicable in case of ex post facto. There are some strengths as well as some weaknesses. The strength of the ex post facto research is it is considered a very relevant method in those behavioral researches where the variables cannot be manipulated or altered. For example, it may include sociological delinquencies tendency as well as educational variables, achievement, motivation, etc. It is more difficult, useful than in experimental research because it can be used in analyzing a cause on the basis of effect, which is possible in an experimental research. It gives a chance to the researcher to analyze on the basis of his personal opinion and then come out with the best possible conclusion. The weakness as well as the limitation of the ex post facto research are the researcher cannot manipulate the independent. There can be no manipulation in independent variable. Researcher cannot randomly assign the subjects to different groups. They need to provide a reasonable explanation for the relationship between the independent and dependent variables under study. Concept of post hoc fallacy. While predicting the causal relationships between the variables, the researcher falls prey to the bias called the post hoc fallacy. The concept of post hoc fallacy says it is a tendency of human to arrive at conclusions or predictions when two factors go together. One is the cause and the other is the effect. Because delinquency and parenthood go together, we may come to conclusion that delinquency is the effect and parenthood is the cause. Whereas in reality, the peer group of which the child belongs may be the actual reason. It is not possible that 100% it is responsible. Parenthood is responsible. Environmental factor. Maybe his or her society is responsible for this habit to develop, for this habit to strengthen in a child. So there might be several factors. I hope it is clear what is ex post facto research. Thank you.